Family starts at our homes, but it does not end there. It grows as you continue your journey, and it becomes stronger every time you inspire other people. Elisabeth Lee talks about her childhood. She remembers that disappointments and heartaches can be a good teacher. During her high school years, Elisabeth was not the favorite student, but she was the unique one. So Beth, thank you very much for saying yes to speak with
Thank you,
our
Rebecca.
interview. Can you share us your personal story when you were a kid?
So growing up, we are taught discipline. And also, like for example, when I was going to school, I have to earn my allowance. So there's no such thing as just being handed out something. And I think that's really important because you learn to value what you have. You learn to value the money that you actually earn. So if I were to share, for example, when I went to college in the US, I had to earn my allowance. So what I did was I actually bussed tables at the school. So that actually gave me an appreciation for workers, for example, waiters, because I also did that so that I can actually earn my own keep. So those are the kind of things I think that's really good.
So at that young age, because of that experience, that make you who you are as a strong woman?
I think the way we were brought up, that you can actually do anything that you put your mind to. At a very early age, I wanted to do a business, and one of the things that I wanted to do, funny, was there's this thing that was like a water filtering system, and it's actually a pyramid scheme. But I mean, it was something like it wasn't successful. It was successful only with my family because they wanted to support
you.
Yes, they wanted to support me, and then some friends bought it also. But then it really opened the door to me also to see how, you know, being in business is not something that's easy, but it's also not something that you really can't do if you want to do something. So I think that was a good trial or a good taste for me early on.
You mentioned that you pursue your education in the US. That's why you had that experience working with different things, how you experienced some challenges in life. But what did you learn in the US that you brought back?
When I was in high school, and there was this one class where we were being asked, you know, what a Saint Bernard was. I didn't know what a Saint Bernard was. It's a dog. I didn't know what it was. So when the teacher asked me, and I said, well, you know, I don't know what a Saint Bernard is. And this one guy, a bully, he just made this remark and said to me in front of the class, you know, that you're so stupid. You don't even know what a Saint Bernard is? How stupid are you? And with that comment, the teacher, Mrs. Willett, I can never forget her, she told the guy, his name is Sean, and said, Sean, why don't you stand up? How many languages do you speak? And he said, 1, English. And then she turns to me and says, Elisabeth, how many languages do you speak? And I said, 3, because I speak English, Tagalog, and Chinese. So and I said 3, and then Mrs. Willett turns to Sean and says, Sean, the day that you can speak 3 languages is the day you can tell Elisabeth that she's stupid. Now shut up and sit down.
That's great.
So that actually, that's why I have a special place also for teachers.
One more question. Who really inspired you since you were a kid?
Actually, my mom, she was one of the first women in her industry. She used to be in the printing industry. And she was the first female actually to head a company in that industry. And I remember seeing this black and white picture with my mom in the, you know, very cute, you know, suit, no? And doing the blessing for the factory. And I was saying, Mom, you're the only girl there. And then everybody else was male. And then my brother was telling me that's kind of like how I started with the automotive industry, because when I started, I was the only female. at that time. So I don't know, maybe it's providence. I have no idea. But whatever it is, I'm very grateful to God for this journey, even though sometimes it's a roller coaster, but you're going to be given those things. Otherwise, if you're not here in the dumps, you're not going to be able to appreciate the sunshine when the rain goes away.
Why you decided to start the e-motors?
Our main purpose for doing that really is 180 degrees from what I used to do. My mom and I conceptualized this program called Your Van, Your Business program with the Nissan Urvan. For every Nissan Urvan that's sold, a percentage goes to the microfinance arm of a Christian foundation that helps the poorest of the poor start their own businesses. We kind of shifted the mindset of using the Urvan, the vehicle, as a self-liquidating business so that the owner can actually earn an extra income. With that, we actually help more than 7,400 families, and Filipinos have large families. And if we could help 7,400 families with a Nissan Urvan that sells for 1.1 million, how many families can we help if we sell the e-trike or e-tricycle for about less than 300,000 pesos each? So we can be able to help more families, and at the same time help mitigate climate change and lower our footprint, carbon footprint, and lessen the pollution.
The heart that you have, really it shows that you care to so many Filipinos. Where do you get that?
If you're given such a power comes with it responsibility. So when you're able to actually influence even just that one person, you don't know who that person is, and you don't know who that person who saw what you did, who that person can actually influence. Hindi mo alam yung domino effect nun, kung saan siya patungo. So I think there is a responsibility, but it's also a privilege to be able to do that.
So what would be your best message to individual, especially our entrepreneur countrymen? What would be the key message for them to follow that you use for them to really stand up in order to be successful and to make our Philippines first world?
Honesty and integrity. If we follow all the rules of life, the playbook of life is in the Bible. If we follow all that, hindi ka talaga magkakamali. Hindi ka magkakamali. And then if more of us actually do that, then that would be a big signal for somebody else that's supposed to be richer than you to say, hey, nakakahiya ka. So you have to use yourself as a model for somebody else actually to follow.
So do you consider yourself now successful, Beth?
Before, my definition of success is not the same as my definition of success now. Success now for me is more of like significance, kind of like what you're doing, Rebecca, because you want to make an impact on the lives of Filipinos and Filipinas. Diba? So I think the significance is something that is more valuable now when you, personally, when I define what success means. So it's never a destination. It really is a journey.
What is the special message that you can give to our future leaders?
That's a good question. I think the key is just really this. The leaders will have to think of what's in it for we instead of what's in it for me. We are just so sick of it on the selfishness, on what's in it for me. And guess what? If they get everything for themselves, they're not going to end up happy anyway, because the key to happiness is not having things for yourself. The key to happiness is actually helping somebody else. Yun lang talaga. Yun ang talagang hope ko for our future leaders.
Thank you very much, Beth. Oh, I'm so touched.
Thank you.